Okay, people, I'm sending the case information to your tablets. Wheels up in 30. Just kidding. Yes, Criminal Minds Season 12. Now, if there is one heart-wrenching, harrowing, emotional roller coaster season, it's Season 12. Now, if all you other fellow Reid girls out there thought Season 2 was difficult to watch with Reid's kidnapping, torture and subsequent dilaudid addiction, Season 12 definitely takes the literal biscuit. Now, if you're wondering why I'm in costume, I am paying homage to Kirsten Vangsness, who plays Penelope Garcia. She actually wrote the whole Reid in prison arc storyline, so I am cosplaying today, and that is exactly what I wore for the season 15 2-hour series finale. Goodbye, Wheels Up Forever. Yes, so today is a very, very special day, and I thought I'm going to go big or go home. Now, season 12. You may remember in season 12, Reid was actually drugged, framed for murder, extradited from Mexico, and spent a while in prison while the BAU were trying to clear him. It was harder than hard to watch. Honestly, seeing him getting beaten up and threatened and made to do stuff he didn't want to do, it was hell. It was like watching a close friend of mine go through fresh hell. The DVD of season 12 last year I actually saw in the warehouse, which is it's like the equivalent of Walmart, that was on special for $25, and I was looking through the Criminal Minds seasons. I thought, do I want to watch season 12 again so soon? I think I'd rather give birth to a chair, quite frankly. Not for a while, because honestly that was like being hit with a steamroller, followed by a train and a jet. But the whole Reid in prison sequence actually showed off Matthew Gray Gubler's raw, true acting talent. His acting was just so amazing, so emotive, so evocative. You can't teach that in drama school. You just can't. You've either got it or you haven't. And I think that's why it felt like my heart was actually being ripped out through my kidneys, was because the acting was so authentic, convincing, emotive, and oh boy. Another aspect of season 12 was we actually found out what happened. Just what happened to Aaron Hotchner. He all of a sudden disappeared shortly after season 11, because I know at the end of season 11, Derek Morgan left because, yeah, him and Savannah had a baby. So what happened to Hotch? His quick exit? Well, as it turned out, the actor Thomas Gibson was fired after a little scuffle with one of the producers. Although he was acting in self-defense, he just felt very, very threatened by some big burly MMA star putting his hands on his shoulder. Of course he was going to have a reflexive action. I mean, I would too if I thought I was going to be beat down. But that is what happened, and in the storyline, they kind of wove it in, connecting it with the recurrent villain known as Mr. Scratch, who also would release hallucinogenic drugs into the air, and his victims would not know what day it was or who they were or where they were. As it turned out, Mr. Scratch had actually been able to locate Agent Hotchner and his wee son. So, as the writers that they wrote it, that Hotch and his son went into witness protection for their own safety. So that was sort of tied up in a little bow so that the viewers weren't thinking, what? Well, that's a disconnect. Another reason why season 12 actually is such a critical season to me is it actually highlights Reid's transition. If you think of it in role-playing D&D terms, you've heard of different characters having different alignments, like lawful good, chaotic good. Well, At the start of the series, Reid started off innocent, sweet, 24, lawful good. Wouldn't hurt a fly, wouldn't do anything wrong. He had this insane moral compass. But season 12 was where his whole moral perception through his prison experience changed. And he went from lawful good to chaotic neutral good. You actually got to see this darker side to Reid, giving his character more dimensions, more humanity. And bravo for that. And Matthew just showcased that perfectly in his role. As I mentioned before, that's why the prison scenes hit me so hard. Was wow, honestly, his character, his whole transition and evolution. For example, when Reid was put to work in the laundry, some of the lower element of the inmates, they bullied him into moving drugs through the laundry, and he didn't really want to do that. So, and he was terrified. He was in fear of his life. As he said in one scene, you know, why is everyone else in here acting like they're not scared to death? He kept a journal and how he wasn't sleeping, and he thought, no. So what he did was he actually mixed some laundry powder with the powdered white substances, and a couple of the lower bottom-feeding criminal element inmates tried a little bit and became gravely ill. So that kind of stopped him from being threatened. He was like, what happened? What's going on? So he acted all innocent, and the guard just said, bad batch. Yeah, so he was able to get the bullies off his back for a little bit, but honestly, seeing him in earlier episodes getting beaten up and punched in the stomach, oh God. Yeah, that was boom! But, as I said, he played it so convincingly. It was amazing. He honestly should have got an Emmy for that. I don't know why he didn't get an Emmy. Oh my goodness. At the end of season 12 was the exact pivotal moment. You could actually see his switch from lawful good to chaotic neutral good. I think we all remember his confrontation with Cat Adams, played by Aubrey Plaza, who was actually an old friend of Matthew's from acting school, so they go back years and years. Now, Cat and her associate, who had both framed Reid for the murder and had him drugged and because they wanted to make him suffer, probably for apprehending her. Yeah, that would be a good motive. They'd kidnapped Reid's mother, and he didn't know where she was, so he completely lost it with Cat. And it was in that space of a few minutes you saw the switch from lawful good to chaotic. You really saw that darkness, that dark aspect of Reid that we all have in us. We might try and deny it, but we all saw that aspect, that fierceness, that chaotic dark side come out. And that was the pivotal moment of the series. That was almost like the completion of his character's evolution, transition. That was like the apex of it. And that was also further echoed in season 15, the final season ever, when Cat Adams, the villainess, was about to be executed and wanted to speak with Reid. And you saw Reid actually fly into a rage and knock everything off his desk and scream and rage and fury. Boom. That was the evolved Reid. Human, light and dark, lawful, chaotic. That was just perfect. Again, a salute to his acting ability. I'm sure all you Reid girls out there will definitely agree with me that season 12, and tied in with that particular episode of season 15, it was like fireworks going off. I don't think you could actually beat that at all. just about does it for my evaluation of season 12. And if you have any comments, if you feel that I didn't do the characters justice, if you feel that I did do them justice, if you think, even if you think my costume looks ridiculous, I think it looks absolutely fierce if you ask me. So whoever in a previous live stream of mine, I think who wrote a comment that I do resemble Kirsten Vangsness or Penelope a lot, thank you, thank you, thank you, because I am such an uber fan that whoever you are, can't remember who you are, that was the highest compliment. So thank you. Yeah, and thank you to all my leader fam for supporting me and making this possible and giving me the courage to actually do this in full costume. Full noise, full rowdy Reid girlness. Yay! Yes, even the cat ears. Unfortunately, the one thing I don't have is the unicorn mug, so I'm yet to find one. I think I should actually get one from the $2 store when we're out of lockdown. If I'm going to be cosplaying again, which I think the chances of me doing it again are very good to excellent, I think I should definitely get one of those. But if you have any comments, objections, suggestions for any next topics you want me to talk about, definitely hit me up in the comments and I will respond accordingly. I don't know, tomorrow I might be doing some cat chat, might be doing a book review, music review, or I might even be doing something completely out of left field. But until then, wheels up.